Hey everybody, Alex Miller at Capnion here. Now, this week I'm going to give you another Ghost PII sneak peek, and I want to talk a little bit about our roadmap first. So at the end of this quarter, we're going to release our core module, and the point of that core module is doing essentially the core magic trick I've been trying to talk to you guys about, which is that you can move data around encrypted. You can even use it while it's encrypted. And then we're going to give you pretty delicate control over what kind of insights you can get out in plain text. And this particular demonstration, I'm going to show this to you in the context of a decision tree model. And the point here, and this is a little bit further down our roadmap, the goal of the core module is if you knew how to write a decision tree algorithm before, you can do it pretty easily with the Ghost PII core module, just like you would do it in another setting. And this is something we have in store for you a little down the road. We're working on providing you with everything you're familiar with in scikit-learn, built using Ghost PII so that if you want somebody to do that modeling for you, you don't have to give them the data wholesale. You can let them just get the model and poke at it and not have to see the underlying data, which might be a little bit more sensitive. All right, so let me give you a sneak peek of what we're building right now. So some of you will probably recognize this as a Jupyter notebook. Once again, our goal is to blend in seamlessly with familiar open source Python data tools. There's a really exciting new privacy trick here, and we want to make that trick accessible to people who know how to do data work in Python and not force them to see every grisly detail of how the exciting magic trick is being accomplished. So this is standard Python stuff. This is our client-side middleware. This is telling Python how to get in touch with our specialized key hosting service, and then you can just go. We're going to do some work with a decision tree model on the famous Titanic dataset. You can see the data right here. We're showing you the data here just so you can get some intuition for what's going on. The whole point of the exercise is that maybe in reality, you wouldn't want to let the data scientist doing the modeling hold the data wholesale. And so what we actually do is we encrypt this data, and then the ciphertext, you can encode it to look like this. And you could stash this in a database or do anything else you wanted with it. You could write it on a billboard and it would be secure until the end of time, presuming you didn't give people permission in our key hosting service to decrypt it. And this is actually what we work with below and not the plain text data here. And we're working, once again, with a view towards building some fancier stuff for you down the road on a decision tree implementation that uses the Ghost PII core module. It looks a lot like any other decision tree implementation, but it's going to give you that data about the model, and it's not going to require you to actually have all of the data. It's going to enable you to work with the encrypted data. And then, of course, once you get to the level of modeling, you can just interact with this interface like you would anything else. Hey, give me a decision tree model based on that encrypted data, and it's going to do it. And so if we scroll down, what's the point here? I talked a little in the past. A lot of times in a business context where you're training one tree, you're really interested in the insights about how a decision is made in a way that's efficient, gets you a good outcome. This process is going to take that encrypted data and it's going to essentially tell you where the interesting cuts in the data are to decide. And that's really what you wanted. That's really what's enlightening in a business setting, this information about how to make a decision. Data science at the end of the day is typically decision support. And I've now enabled somebody else to do this for me, to do this work and get the business insight, which once again is pretty compact. It's not that I needed the whole data set. I wanted some concise story about how to make decision. I'm going to get that concise insight in plain text. Now I can go and do something with it. I didn't have to take on the risk of giving the data scientist the whole data set in plain text to make that happen. All right, we got a deep bag of tricks like this, and I'm going to keep showing you more. You could call this encrypted data in use, and I think this is a little bit counterintuitive, and people's minds sometimes are reluctant to accept it, but I think once you understand it, you'll see it's a really cool trick and it's really powerful. More to come.